Hey everyone, welcome to another video. As you can see, my background has changed. I haven't actually done a ton of reading in the last couple of weeks. Various reasons. I've been away, I've been writing papers for school, and I'm moving house. So this is the new this is where my bookshelves are going to go. It's in like a little study thing, so you can close it. But yeah, so this is the empty apartment, so you're probably going to hear a bit of an echo, but can't do much about that. So we're moving in the next week or so, so I haven't done a ton of reading. I have been chipping away at this biography of Barack Obama. I'll have a review on it when I eventually get through it. It's about 1,000 pages long, so might take me a little bit longer. So I've been chipping away at that. But I thought today I would talk about the fiction that I've really enjoyed as someone who reads mostly non-fiction, and particularly someone who reads mostly history. And this is an interesting one because I find fiction really difficult to read, because in non-fiction books, the author is trying to tell you something in the most direct and clear way possible, and that's not the case in fiction books. And that's what makes fiction books so rewarding to read and such a good reading experience, that it makes it tough for someone who primarily reads non-fiction to read and understand and all of that stuff. So I've got a couple of examples of things that I've really enjoyed reading. So if you're in the same position as me, you should read a lot of history and stuff, maybe give these ones a go. So the first ones are the novels by Amor Towles, I don't know how exactly to say that. His first novel was The Rules of Civility, and it is set basically, the premise is there's a girl in 1937 New York. She goes to a jazz bar and she meets a guy, and then he is basically connected in the finance world, and so there's just basically the whole book is these people's lives in New York City in 1937 and 38, and it's really atmospheric and it's beautifully written and it's really, really good. But so definitely worth reading this one. But his second book, A Gentleman in Moscow, is just like miles ahead of The Rules of Civility. It is probably one of the best books, fiction-wise, I've ever read, and I go back to it quite a bit. I've even got the audiobook. I listen to that quite a bit. It's just a masterpiece. It is, for those who haven't come across it, it is pretty popular now, but it is about a count, Count Alexander Rostov, who in 1922 gets sentenced to home, what's the word? Like imprisonment in his home, basically. House arrest is what you call it. But he lives within the Hotel Metropole in the middle of Moscow. And given that he is a count, obviously and it's 1922 Russia, he is standing against everything that the Bolsheviks stand for. And he's just an excellent character, and the way the book is written is like in these cycles, and he basically lives within this hotel, and the whole, apart from like one or two scenes, take place within the hotel, and you have the cast of characters, and you see this hotel working. Because he's living there, he's going behind the scenes, he's going to the kitchen, but it's just masterfully written. It's difficult to tell you about the plot because there's not really there is a plot, but the premise is he's living in the hotel and his life happens in this hotel, and the people who come through and then they come back years later and he sees them and he's always there. And there's like beautiful scenes like with the people he meets. There's funny scenes, like when the Bolsheviks come in and they remove all the labels off of the wine bottles, and he's aghast at this because all the wine needs to be sold for the same price, because the Bolsheviks think it's too bourgeois for special wine to be sold. Anyway, this is an excellent book. If you can find a copy, I mean, they're everywhere now. Get it, read it. It's really good. I don't have the rest of the books with me, but the other series or author that I really like is Ken Follett, and he's written two series that I really enjoy. The first is the Pillars of the Earth series, or the Kingsbridge series, and they started with the Pillars of the Earth and went on. I'm forgetting the rest of them. I know they've gone from my mind now. I'll put them up on the screen or in the description if I can. And then he's recently released like the prequel, which is the fourth book in the series. There's a prequel, and that's called The Evening and the Morning. And basically it's about this town called Kingsbridge, and in the first book they build a cathedral, and you learn about all the characters and their lives and everything, and the cathedral goes up. And then the second book is the same town and the cathedral and all basically the descendants of the people from the first book, and it's just amazing. It's so well written, it's so interesting. I've read The Pillars of the Earth several times. I've read the other two once each. I love The Pillars of the Earth so much, and I'm working my way through The Evening and the Morning at the moment. The other series of books that he's written are called the Century Trilogy, and he wrote, the first one is The Fall of Giants, the second one is, actually, I don't have any way to look it up right now. Okay, and the last one is The Edge of Eternity. I don't know why I can't remember these right now. That's not good. But basically it's about a series of families, and there's 5 or 6 families from all around the world. And you follow them, and they come into contact with each other. And the first one follows those families going through the First World War. And like, for example, there's like a poor family from Russia, there's a aristocratic family from England, there's a family that's very high up, very wealthy in America, like that sort of idea. So that you've got all these families, you've got a German family as well. And you see them go through the First World War, and then the Second World War, and then the late 20th century in the last book. And those are also excellent. So you get the history in there, but they are fiction, and they're really good fiction as well. So those are the books I was going to talk about. Definitely, if you're going to read one book from here, it's definitely A Gentleman in Moscow. It is by far and away one of the best books I've ever read. So hope you enjoyed that. I'm going to head off now and try and get a little bit of reading done, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.